Hello everyone, I hope you are doing good. Today's video is going to be a very important one. First, I will be talking about my last week trade which I exited on 25th of March 2022. From this trade, I made a very important learning. This learning has the potential to reduce my losses very significantly. So, in all my future trades, I will ensure to apply this learning. I hope you will also learn this learning and apply in your trades as well. So make sure you stick with this video till end and understand a lot from this. If you have any questions, do ask me in the comment section below. Those who are new to my channel, let me give you a little introduction. I trade double or triple calendar spread almost every week for consistent weekly income. My profit target remained 10% profit every week. So if you are also interested to make consistent weekly income, please subscribe to my channel. I have a complete guide video. I have given the link to the video on top of your screen. You can see it there. Please check out that video. It has all the fundamentals of this strategy covered. It will also answer almost all of your question. If you have any more question, you can ask in the comment section. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I have given the link to my Instagram and Twitter in the description below. I post my latest trades in there as well. So if you are interested to get latest updates about my trades, do follow me on Instagram or Twitter, whichever you prefer. So now let's start the video. So on 11th of March 2022, SPY was moving around 423 points. That day, I entered a double calendar spread to take care of the upper move. I see there was some sort of resistance at 440. So just to give little cushion, I chosen 445 as the upper strike price. For the lower side, there was some sort of support at here as well. And also to make it equidistant, I chosen the 395 put calendar. So this was the double calendar spread strike prices. Now let's talk about the dates. So on 11th of March, I entered this trade. You guys know usually I go 14 days to expiry calendars. So usually I would have sold a 25th of March option and bought a 1st of April option to create a calendar. But this time I did little different. Instead of this 25th and 1st, I went 1 week ahead. So I bought this pair calendar. So I was selling 1st of April option and I was buying 8th of April option. So this was the calendar, 1st April and 8th of April pair instead of 25th and 1st of April. The reason was the 25th and 1st of April calendars were very expensive, but the 1st of April and 8th of April calendars were very cheap. So that was the reason I went with this calendars. This time I had more time in the trade. So usually I have only 1 week, but this time since I went 1 week ahead, so I had 2 weeks to be in this trade. So I had deadline to exit this trade by 25th. So this was extra days in the trade. So now going forward, SPY took the direction of going up, and it on 18th of March it almost touched the upper strike, the 445 calendar. So what I did is, one option I had was to put one more calendar. There was, since there was no room left for upper movement. So one I think I could have done is I could have bought one more calendar at the upper side. So then it would have become a triple calendar. But since this was a 50 points wide, already 50 points wide, so if I have wanted to make it a balanced triple calendar, I would have to put the upper calendar very very far, but I didn't want to put that far. So that's what I did is I exited this whole trade. Whatever profit it was, I locked that profit. I entered a fresh trade on 18th of March. The dates, the expiries were same, but I changed the strike prices. So I will talk about this trade later on. Let me first focus on this trade, the 395 and 445 strike prices. So now let me go to my this Excel sheet. Those who are new, let me just give you, this is my, on day-to-day basis I track my calendars in this Excel sheet. So on 11th of March I entered this trade. The strike prices were 395 and 445. I sold 1st of April and bought 8th of April. This total double calendar cost me $205. On 14th of March, this calendar was in a loss of 4.39%. On 15th of March, this double calendar was in a loss of 1.95%. On 16th of March, this double calendar was in a loss of 1.47%. On 17th of March, this double calendar was in a loss of 0.49%. On 18th of March, when SPY almost reached the upper calendar, this double calendar was in a profit of 0.98%. This day, then I thought, okay, I will take this. So I logged in this 1% profit, and then I re-entered on 18th of March with the fresh strike prices. The dates were same, the 1st and 8th of April. The pair was same, but I changed the strike prices. So this time, if you will observe, I directly entered a triple calendar. The reason was, since last few days we were going up and the market sentiment was to go up. So there was a good chance that even if we cool down, the cool down period might be small wiggle around. Sometimes we cool down, like we just move around here, or even if we go down, there was a very big support at this point, you can see here. So there's a very big support at 430 3 and 430 level. So it might happen, it will go a little bit down and it will come back very fast again. So if that would happen, then this 440 strike price calendar won't become cheaper. I won't get this benefit. What I usually do is I let wait till it go a little far, like till here or here, and then I buy. So it might be possible that it will might wiggle around, or it will go little, very little bit, like this you can see. It might go very small amount, little bit down, and then it will just wiggle around and it will come back. So that was the possibility. That's why I thought, okay, let's enter the whole triple calendar at the from the start itself. So that's why I bought this 440 at the money calendar. And there was a some sort of resistance support here at 417. So I bought a lower calendar at 415, and to make it equidistant I made 465 as my upper calendar. So these were the strike prices and dates were the same. So now let's track how this performed on day-to-day basis. So on March 18th, I invested a total of $314 for each lot. So based on my investment, I bought multiple lots. So on March on 21st, this triple calendar was in a loss of 2.55%. On March 22nd, this was in a loss of 8.92%. On March 23rd, this was in a loss of 3.82%. On March 24th, this was in a loss of 12.42%. So this was going in losses every day. On March 25th, it was in a loss of 14.7%, and I had to exit the trade. The reason was the expiry was 1st of April, and I had to exit on 25th of March, because I don't never remain in the trade in the last week. The gamma risk is too much. So better I, whatever is the profit or loss, I lock. This is my strategy. So I exited the trade and I took the 14.7% loss. Yes, in this time I took the loss. So let me show you profit calendar of 2022. So this time in this trade, after a long time, I booked a loss from this trade of 14.7%. So my March PNL looks negative this time. But one very important learning I made from this trade, and this could, this learning could have made this trade as well as this January February trade where I booked a loss. Both these trades would have become a profit from this one single learning. So I will share with you that learning, and in future I will apply that learning, and hopefully all these trades which are red, looking red, will go to positives. So now let me share with you with that learning. So remember I told you that I bought the first and eighth pair and not 25th and first pair, because the 25th March selling and 1st of March buying this calendar were expensive, and the first and eighth pairs were cheaper. So that was actually not a good decision. Now let me show you why. So let me go back to my this. So this was a profit sheet. I have a research tab as well. Those who are new to my channel, let me give you a little idea. So on the upper side, on day-to-day basis, I track all the, so this pair, the 1st of April and 8th of April, what I showed you, I have different strike prices, points apart, and I'm tracking this calendar's prices since a long time. So these are dates. So on 11th of March, what was the price? On 14th of March, on 15th. So on daily basis, I track all these strike prices calendars. So these are the calendar prices. So I am just subtracting these two and I'm getting the calendar price. So this is the calendar prices. Okay. And whichever I'm planning to trade. So this time I entered like this one, it was 395 and 445. So these two green ones, these two I entered. So if you see, so total was 205. So this is how I do my research. So this is just a small introduction to new people. So now let me go to that learning. So on 1st of April, the 1st of April and 8th of April pair costed me $205. Now let me just go back the previous pair which was expensive. What I was telling, I was telling you now, the 25th March and 1st of April pair was expensive. So now let's check out what was the price of the double calendar. So 395 440, the same strike prices, the 395 440, these two strike prices. So I'm keeping this. So these blue ones, if I do the total of these two, so it was 230. So in the 1st of April, 8th of April, these two double calendars were costing me 205, but the 25th March and 1st of April pair was costing me 231. So it was expensive. That was true, and that was the reason I went with this pair. But what happened was, it was something like richer become richer and poor become poorer. So this was the poor guy, and it became poorer and poorer going forward. And this was a rich guy, and it became richer and richer. So that was the thing. So let's track down how it went. So on 11th of March it was 231. On 14th of March it went little bit loss of 3.9%. On 15th of March it recovered and it was just loss of 0.43%. On 16th of March, it was in a loss of 1.3%. On 17th of March, it was in a profit of 5.63%. So now you can see. And 18th of March, remember I exited this two double calendar on 18th of March, making a 1% profit. If I would have taken this pair, I would have exited with 12.55% profit. So you can see. So this is one learning from this. Now I can prove this thing and the other trade as well. So remember, this was the second trade I took where I exited with a loss of 14 points percent loss. Now let me show you. So I will not go with 1st of 8th April. Actually, I don't have data for this pair as well. So what I will do is I will go one week ahead. So instead of 1st and 8th of April, which I actually traded, I will go one week ahead. So I will show you 8th and 15th. Actually, 15th was holiday, so I will choose 18th. So I will show you 8th and 18th pair calendars. So this is 8th and 18th April calendar. Okay. The strike prices were 414, 440, and 465, correct? So 414, 440 and 465. So there I invested $314, correct? Now let me show you on this pair, the 8th and 18th pair, same strike prices. Please concentrate on the blue one. Please ignore the other. These are my the yellow and orange. Please ignore that. These are the other research I'm doing. So just let's concentrate on these three strike prices, which 415, 440, 465. 415, 440, and 465. These three strike prices. So if you see these three blue ones, in total I would have invested $292. And now on 21st of March it went up to 316. It was already in profit of 8%. On March 22nd this was in a profit of 3.77%. On March 23rd this was in a profit of 5%. March 24th, this was a profit of 5.48%. March 25th, when I exited, remember this, I exited with a loss of 14%. This pair calendars, triple calendar, was in a profit of 8.99%. So what is the summary? This pair, like which I traded 1st of April and 8th of April, I was tracking them since a long time, like way before 11th of March. 11th of March was the day when I entered. I was tracking them since a long back. See, you can see that. And I was seeing that they were becoming every day cheaper and cheaper. So I thought, okay, wow, this is very cheap. So in 11th of March I entered this trade thinking that it will become expensive, but that didn't happen and it became cheaper and cheaper going forward as well. But the other two calendars, this pair, the previous pair or the next pair, they were becoming expensive and expensive day by day. So one learning I made is, if a calendar is becoming cheaper day by day, better to ignore it and buy the other one which are becoming expensive, because there is good chances they will become more expensive. Even I tried to check the volatility. So there's a website called eTrade where you can check the volatility of each expiry. So when we check VIX, it is, I think so, 45 days expiry VIX. That's how they calculate it. But in this website you can check the volatility of for each expiry these options. So the 1st of April and 8th of April, when I check, they were like 16% and 17%. If I go other, so almost they are all 16-17%. So I don't see much difference. So I don't know why this 1st of April and 8th of April pair is becoming cheaper and cheaper every time. So I will debug more and see what is the reason. But what I'm seeing from this my research tab is, 1st of April and 8th of April were always becoming cheaper, and going forward also they became cheaper. So this was the very important learning I made. Now I told you, remember, this February trade would have also became a profit from this learning. So let's see. So on 28th February, so let me go back to my research tab. Just hold on a second. So 28th of February, it is loading. So this is the trade. So let me go 28th of February. Sorry, it is very busy. Just hang on. Okay, I have a lot of data here, so you can see I'm researching a lot. I have a lot of data here, so this helps me. The Yeah, I can could have used software and everything, but I in learn a lot when I do it by myself. I am a very old school guy, and I like to write myself by hand, like that. So learn a lot. Yeah, I use tools, like some of the data I'm trying to get through automated version, but I try to do a lot of data processing myself. So anyway, so this trade, if you remember, 20th of February I entered this trade. So I entered, this was the strike prices for this trade, the purple one I'm showing you, and it gave me a loss later on. So now same calendar I will show you. So instead of this 11th and 18th, this was the actual trade I took. So took this pair, and these purple were the strike prices which I've chosen. I entered on 20th of February, 20th of January. So instead of that pair, let's say I would have entered with this pair, 18th of February and 25th of February. So instead of 11th and 18th, I would have entered with 18th and 25th. So these same strike prices, I'm choosing the same strike prices. So here also you can see it was 410, 430, and 455. So here also I'm choosing 410, 430, and 455, these three strike prices. So you can see they are also marked in purple. So this would have costed me $258. So just concentrate on the purple line. Now going forward, let's see. So this was already in profit of 2%, 1.94%, and then it became a loss of 5.43%, again a loss of 14 point. Here it was in a loss of 27%. Remember, this was very big loss, but here I would have made a loss of 14%, so little less losses. Here it was in a profit of 15.89%. So that day I sold on this day, like on which date was 4th of February, and I booked a loss of 2.83%, like I what I mentioned here. But instead, if I would have entered in this pair, so it was in a profit of 15.89% one day before itself. And the day I exited, that day this pair was in a profit of 21%. So I would have easily converted this 2.83 loss. If I would have followed, I would have exited this at 10%, or like it was 15%. So I would have exited by this day itself. And instead of 2.83% loss, I would have made a profit of 15.89. And here, instead of 14.7% loss, I would have made a profit of 8 point something, if you remember, 8 point something profit. So these two, both the losses, I would have converted into profits. So going forward, whenever I will enter into any trade, I will see if the calendars are becoming cheaper day by day of that particular, I'll compare. So what was the, how is the previous week pair doing? How is the this week pair doing? How is the coming week pair doing? And then based on that, I will buy the calendar. So this is a very important learning I made. I'll try to learn more about this from the Volvix and why it is happening, why 1st of April and 8th of April were becoming cheaper every day. If you have any ideas why this was happening, please comment in the comment section. I would love to know that the reason. I will also try to know like why this was always cheaper and becoming cheaper, and the other pairs were becoming more expensive day by day. So this is a very important learning, and I will make sure in all my future trades I will use this learning and apply it. So I hope you learned a lot from this video.